Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing my April TBR. Before I get started, if you're new to this channel, please don't hesitate to subscribe below as well as hit the notification bell. And if you're new, hi, hello, I'm Stephanie and I do love bookish content. And I'm really excited to get into the month of April because I am pretty excited about these books. Mainly because I'm also doing the orilium readathon as I always do every single year. Once again, I'm going to be a Beastmaster. I think at this point I'm going to be a master at this. So I'm going to talk about that later on in the video. But let's just get started with my usual prompts as well as my book club picks. So I actually don't really have a book club pick this month because the book that we chose is Personal Librarian. Unfortunately, I did pick this up ages ago, DNF'd it, so I would not be tackling this book again. So I don't have a book to read for this month, which is great because that means I have more time to read my other books. So as usual, I have my lovely spinner over here. Let's do 5 prompts. This is the first one. Prompt number 1. Backlist TBR. Okay, that seems easy enough. I have so many books that fulfills that prompt. All right, so for this backlist title, I'm gonna go with one that I have. I'm going to try to read this for another book club that I'm part of. I've been doing Fable a lot more the past month or two just because I've been kind of curious to see which ones to dabble in. There's a couple that I'm in, but I only really choose like 1 or 2 to follow per month depending on the book that they chose. So one of them actually chose for March and April, and that is Heavenly Bodies by Imani Uriu. I'm hoping I pronounced it correctly. This came out in 2022, so definitely is a qualified backlist book. All I know is that this is a romantasy and it's supposed to be Greek mythology and shadow magic, enemies to lover romance, etc. And I've heard really good things, so I'm excited. Prompt number 2. Book with time travel elements. Okay, I feel like it's gonna be a little bit harder because I don't really know that many books with time travel. I'm gonna have to do some digging online for this. So for this time traveling one, I came up with Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven. I was trying to look for one because I just feel like I just don't know that many time traveling books. I looked on Goodreads, did some time traveling list, and this is the one that came up. And this one that I just got recently from Book of the Month. And it is something about how Invisible Life of Addie LaRue meets This Is How You Lose a Time War. It's a fantastical and epic love story that defies death as 2 souls reincarnate through the centuries. I don't know if it's really a time traveling per se, but it's a lot of reincarnation. I believe they go like back and forth with the past and present and maybe the future. So in my book, that is considered time traveling. So I'm considering that as well. Now we're on to prompt number 3. Book from a genre you don't typically read. Okay, so I would say my least commonly read genre these days is of course nonfiction. Then there is historical fiction, which I don't even know the last time I picked one up. Was sci-fi, kind of, because I do pick up sci-fi to some degree, but not that often. Fantasy, romance, and those are out, but I think I'm going to target sci-fi, nonfiction, and historical fiction as I pick a book. Now this one's a surprise because I did not know this is considered horror, so I decided not to go with any of the routes I mentioned because I couldn't find one that I really wanted to read. But then I saw horror as a genre and I was looking through the previous nominees for Goodreads on horror, and I found All's Well by Mona Awad. This is one that I want to read for 25 books in 2025 anyways. I'll link that in a video above and down below, so check that out. A lot more books on there. I didn't know this was horror, so I was like, wait, I want to read this anyways. Now's the time for me to read this because I don't really read horror that often. It's supposed to be a novel about a theater professor who's convinced staging Shakespeare's more maligned play will remedy all that ails her, but at what cost? And it's supposed to be horror, so I don't know. I just did not get the impression this is a horror book because the cover does not scream horror to me, but we'll see. Apparently it's nominated, so definitely horror. Now we're on to prompt number 4. Okay, bookshelf generator. This one is always a hit or miss because you really don't know what I'm going to read until I do my bookshelf generator. So let me find my phone first. So I have my phone here doing the random generator for 1 to 34. That's how many shelves I have. Generate number 13, if you guys can see that, which means it is 6, 12, 13. Oh wait, I literally have like maybe 15 books on there. Generate 1 to 15. And it is number 10. It is this book, a Spindle Splintered. It is a tiny little book, so I'm actually kind of lucky I got this one, and it's by Alex E. Harrell. It's supposed to be a version of a classic story, splicing the threads of Sleeping Beauty stories. Oh, it's supposed to be, I guess, a remake or reimagining of Sleeping Beauty that's supposed to be more intense. But yeah, it's a short little read. Really happy I got this one for my read. And now we're finally at prompt number 5. Book with a protagonist who has a different religious background than your own. Okay, that's definitely somewhat on the easier side because my background is Christianity. So anything that's not can definitely fulfill this prompt. So let me look through my shelves. Finally, the last book I have on here is a protagonist with a different religion background than my own, and I did go with Mirage by Somaya Daud. I don't actually know how religious this book is. However, I was looking up like Muslim/Islam books, and this one popped up for me. So this has been one on my TBR for God knows how long. I got this in before 2018, so maybe like 2017 actually, and it's been sitting on my shelf. It's supposed to be her debut novel too. It says her own face is the enemy. It follows a 16-year-old girl called Amani who's a dreamer, and one day she's kidnapped by the regime and taken in secret to the royal palace, where she discovers she looks nearly identical to the cruel half-Valak Princess Maram, who is the empire that's dominating the entire star system. But the princess is so hated by her conquered people that she requires a body double. So now she's forced into this new role, and she can't help enjoying the palace's beauty and her time with the prince's fiance Idris. Very curious about this one. So all the books I'm going to read for the month of April in terms of my regular stack. Moving on to the magical readathon stack over here, because I have quite a lot of books to read as well. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be Beastmaster. I will link all the information down below. So for Beastmaster, there are 5 studies I need to do. One is elemental studies, which I need to read a fruit on the cover, which I'm going to read The Emperor and the Endless Palace by Justinian Huang by. There is a giant peach right here. If you can see, it's like half eaten too. Took a chunk out of it. I actually met the author when I was at LA last year, and he signed my book for me, so super happy about that. Also, he was Taiwanese too, which I was like talking about Taiwan with him, so really cool. It says, what if I told you that the feeling we call love is actually the feeling of metaphysical recognition when you so remember someone from your past life? That is very interesting. I love these type of past life books, just like our Infinite Fates. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. My next prompt over here, our studies, is called Animal Studies. I need to read a book that I'm stealing a book from another TBR. So for this one, I haven't really chosen a book yet. I'm gonna do a quick little search on Discord to see if any of my previous books are books on someone else's TBR. So let me be right back. I found the book, guys. So someone called Inkblood on Discord is reading A Fate Inked in Blood for her TBR this year. She's reading it for spells and incantations, so super excited that I have someone on here, because this is one I want to read as well, but I couldn't figure out how to fit this book in here, but now I found a way. It's supposed to be, also this is the cover I have. This is a Fairy Loot edition. It is stunning. Okay, it's supposed to be another fantasy romance. It's Norse inspired, and it follows a woman who's blessed by the gods' battle to unite a nation under a power-hungry king, while also fighting her growing desire for his fiery son. Very curious about this. I love my mythology, even if it's not Greek but Norse mythology. Love it. My next study on here is Alchemy, which I need to read a book with all capitals in the book title. For this one, I'm going to go with Heavenly Bodies. Very excited to have a duplicate on here, because now I can tackle 2 books or 2 prompts, my own prompt and this prompt, with 1 book. Really excited about this one. Then my next prompt on here is Lore, which I need to read a book with a musical term in the title. For this one, I'm gonna go with A Song to Drown Rivers by Anne Liang. Pretty self-explanatory song, musical term, definitely fits. And this cover is really pretty too. It's also like the regular edition that I got from Amazon, so kudos to that. It's supposed to be inspired by the legend of Shishi, one of the famous 4 beauties of ancient China. And it's an epic novel steeped in myth about womanhood, war, sacrifice, and love against all odds as the fate of 2 kingdoms hangs in a delicate balance. Then the last study that I need to do is restoration. I need to read a book with a 4+ star rating. For this one, I'm gonna go with When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I was a little bit skeptical because this book is fucking chunker, but this is one that has been on my TBR for a really long time, been eyeing it for so long, so I'm really excited to dig into it. It's also like 4 stars all over, like Goodreads, Amazon, whatever. It's supposed to be another fantasy romance featuring an immersive, vibrant world with mysterious creatures, a unique magicism, and a love that blazes through the ages. And there's assassins in here, bounty hunters, fays. Like, I am so here for this book. So in addition to my studies, I want to do the Impling Sitter scheme, which is like an extra add-on, and that is to read a book with an animal familiar. It took me some time to find a book because I wasn't like animal familiar, couldn't really find one, but I did find one that is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brendan Sanderson. Apparently the love interest turns into a rat and like is with her the rest of the trip or something like that, so I'm going to consider that as an animal familiar because he's with her for most of this book. But this cover is stunning. I did do the Kickstarter with him a while ago, so I have the special edition here and it's so pretty. It says, in the middle of the ocean there was a girl who lived upon a rock. This was not a rock like the one you have imagined, nor was the rock like the one you have imagined. The girl, however, might be as you imagine, assuming you imagine her as a thoughtful, soft-spoken, and overly fond of collecting cups. But yeah, there's like random images in here, like artwork. So pretty, stunning. So these are the 6 books I'll be reading for my magical readathon. Huge stack here, but I am honestly very excited about every single one of them. There's not one on here that I am like about. And then on top of that, I have these other books I want to read as well, which again, nothing that I'm not excited to read because they're all ones I'm really thrilled to read about. But honestly, I think April will be a great month for me in terms of reading. I'm really hoping, because March has been absolutely abysmal. I only had like a couple books to read this month. I still have to read 3 of them. They're right there, as you can tell. I have not touched them yet. I'm still reading the Mindfuck series. That's taken me all week. It also was like the longest to get into it. Like at one point I was like, am I going to DNF this book? Because I tried reading for 2 days. Couldn't get past like page 50 or 60. Finally, I sat down during lunch one day and I was like, I'm going to sit here and read for like 30-45 minutes. No one bothered me. No one did. And I got through like the entire first book, and that's when I was like, you know what, I'm actually invested now because I'm so curious to see what will happen. Now I'm on book 4, so yeah, I'm still reading that giant omnibus book there, but that's taking me so fucking long, and this weekend I just don't have time, so we'll see how that goes. But that's to say for this video. Let me know down below if you'll be participating in the orilium readathon. If you are, what are you planning to read? What is your career that you've chosen? And if you're not participating, what are you planning to read for the month of April regardless? Let me know down below. But as always, if you like the video, please do give me a thumbs up. I really help my channel. And if you see more content of me, please don't hesitate to subscribe down below, as well as hit the notification bell. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!